There are a few ways how we can use ports as the inputs and outputs for the calculation. Maybe the most simple one would be to just to create a parametric diagram for each of the components to connect those ports as the input to the constraint block as expression, and then result also would go to another port. So to do this, we would create in component one parametric diagram. So let's do parametric diagram. Let's right click, create diagram, parametric diagram, and then here we can pick what ports do we want to see. I think this one is not used. This property we don't need. And here you go. We will create a parametric diagram here. And I already created constraint block here, but let's remove it and then create again. So I will remove those constraint blocks, create again, and this one also will remove it. So now to create constraint block, the easiest way is to go to the parametric equation wizard in parametric diagram and paste first equation, this one, right? Copy, paste. And even it could be used to map, but I will not map here because with ports mapping is not automatic, and we need to map it here manually. So I connected to this parameter, right? You see that it was not connected, so I need to be careful that it is actually connected to the right parameter. Now it is okay. Then output here, and then this one also input here. So one parametric diagram, right? I can lay out. And then another one would be for the component 2. Right click, create diagram, parametric diagram, and then those two ports. Okay. And in this case, equation will be this one here. Copy. Come on. Say some kind of interference with the recording software in this. Copy paste, copy, come here. In case I can create it manually. Constraint property, and then this will use type it here. Some, and then I can paste this expression here and then parse parameters. So input here and output is here. That's it. So now I could run this model, but we need to remember that we need to run this whole system because it needs to execute both blocks, right? So if I will run this whole system, or if I will run this internal block diagram, right? So would be the same. I will click here, run here, and then I see ports without any values. By default, the ports are not displayed in execution environment, so we need to click here, show ports, and then if I will put some values here, 1, 5, I will get result here as the output, right? So first was the 1 plus 5, 6, and then second was 6 as input, 7 as result. That's it. So that was the calculation. I can save this as the instance for the later. Save as an instance somewhere, like for example here, create owner, package, results, close, Okay, now next time if I will want to execute this model, I could start immediately from this configuration controller, right click, simulation, run, yes, and I get those inputs and results calculated. Here's the 7.